The next race up is for Indikart cadets, Micromax mainly, and Braden Boyd is the championship leader in that class. Oscar Walsh is the championship leader in the DRS class. There's only 3 of them here. We'll be concentrating on the Micromax carts. It is a split grid, as you can see, 4 carts in behind with 1 Army cadet and the 3 DRS. Here's Jake with the grid positions.
So Hasnain Khan and Braden Boyd on the front row from George Swire and Leo Livings, then Bray Williamson and Toby Dukes, Dax Farah alongside Joss Hushka, and then it's Archie Smith and Cole Wilson from Jack McGillicuddy and Ellis Child. In DRS it's Oscar Walsh from Ashton Redpath and Vinnie Farah, with Aaron Rowland tagging in at the back. Here we go, racing up to the first corner, and it's going to be a tight one right from the start. Dax Farah trying to get his move up the inside of Hushka, and there's the Haza chassis just in behind there. That's the 23 of Cole Wilson. Of course, a fascinating bit of history for that particular chassis. It's the only chassis in kart history to have been driven by a world champion that also built his own kart. So he's managed to win the world title as both a driver and as a manufacturer, Jorn Haza. And it's good to see it out here at Hooton Park, but the field is mixing it all the way through. You've got a few DRS drivers mixing it with the tail end of the Micromax field.
You've got drivers making up places, some losing places. It's interesting what you're saying about Jorn Haza, Jake, because here they are dealers for that chassis and they've always called it a Haas chassis.
Absolutely.
But you were talking to the man last week.
Yes, indeed. Well, of course, Jorn Haza was always considered one of the big 3 along the likes of Terry Fullerton and Mike Wilson. So he's right up there as one of the kings of our sport. And I'm sure he'll be delighted to see that there's still great British racing pedigree for his material.
And just to confirm then, you actually asked him.
I did.
How to pronounce his name.
Absolutely
and
right.
That's what he said.
Yep, it is Jorn Haza. Absolutely right.
Okay.
So, Hasnain Khan and Braden Boyd, they work their way through and up to the chicane. Leo Livings and Toby Dukes pulling away for position 3, just in behind our front row men that have not changed so far. But the 2 front row men, Hasnain Khan and Braden Boyd, are on the Lando Norris chassis, those Micromaxes. Great to see them putting in a good show. 5th position is George Swire, just in front of Bray Williamson. Then Farah, Child, Smith and Walsh. And Oscar Walsh, of course, is the leading driver of the DRS class, and that, of course, stands for the Daniel Ricciardo Series, which races up and down the length and breadth of Britain in the middle of the summer. So this is going to be a tricky one for Toby Dukes to move up into 3rd base. We're back on board with Farah, and that is Ellis Child that we're looking at. He obviously came into the series midway through the year at round 6. He's just outside the top 10 in the standings at the moment, but a decent result here could get him a little bit closer to that top 10. But up at front, Khan and Boyd are still mixing it. Here comes Dukes, up on the inside, that'll do for 3rd. Oh, that was tricky. Leo Livings was turning in, and he didn't realise just how far across Toby Dukes already was. He nearly had a little bit of a moment there for George Swire, and in fact he has lost ground to Bray Williamson. So Bray Williamson has now come up into P5 as a result on the Sodi car, so he's now trying to get his way further forward. And as they charge a little way further up, this is going to be an interesting one. They hop through the curbs there on the double left-hander. They'll now head up to the chicane. A little bit of gesticulating there from Toby Dukes, who is up in 3rd position past Leo Livings. He wants to now stretch away with these guys. He doesn't want to race them anymore. He's got his eyes firmly fixed on Khan and Boyd up in front. Stop racing me now. Let's go and get after the duo up front.
Absolutely. And they are well clear. Here they are, coming up to the Hooton hairpin. Come out of the Hooton hairpin, and then on the return straight, this is the battle for 3rd. Through the little Clark curve, that's what we call it, this little curve here, it's the Clark curve, into the double apex, classic double apex. They call it a double left here at Hooton Park, incorrectly I might add, because it is of course a double apex, and it is a classic one. This is Stanlow, the Wilson S's, they've just come through. This is Stanlow, the final turn, as they head down to turn 1 at Vauxhall.
You carry a lot of speed around this circuit, even in Micromax. Here's the move up the inside of Farah. This is Ellis Child making his bid, and he's gone through. Very nice move. So excellent overtaking there from Ellis Child. He bangs one in turn 1, and he's managed to carry the momentum through. But I think these guys have got to understand the writing's already on the wall. Toby Dukes trying to lead the cavalry with Livings, Williamson and Swire in behind him, but unfortunately, they've just allowed Khan and Boyd to get just that little bit too far ahead.
Yeah, well, we talked about varying levels of experience. Braden Boyd is certainly very experienced. Hasnain Khan's put in the fastest lap, by the way. You can see that on the left of your screen, highlighted in purple. But Khan, not sure about Khan's experience level, but Braden Boyd, certainly very experienced. Khan, if he's not that experienced, he's highly talented, clearly, one or the other.
Yeah,
But these two are at a different level from the guys behind. But these guys behind, you want to be in a race in karting to enjoy your weekend, and these guys are certainly enjoying it, and they're looking. Toby Duke's there in third. He wants to hold on to that for a third place podium trophy.
And speaking of a race, that was George Swire getting his move on Bray Williamson, so he's managed to retaliate and get back into fifth position as the leaders are going through. They've just lapped the DRS car, that's Vinnie Farah.
DRS kart's obviously a lot slower than Micromax, Jake. Should point that out.
Yeah, so they're obviously in their own separate race, and the battle between Walsh and Redpath is still pretty close, actually. There's not much to choose between those two drivers currently running in 11th and 12th. Joss Hushka has managed to get past them, so he's obviously trying to make ground on Archie Smith. The blue flags are out. They're lapping Vinnie Farah onto the grass. Oh, onto the grass, and that's gone terribly wrong. First of all for Swire, and oh dear, that's Ellis Child. He had nowhere to go.
Oh, bit of a disaster that for Ellis Child, who was running pretty well as well. Have another look, that's the DRS kart in front.
Yeah, look, he's just trying to get out of the way of the DRS. He's brought it onto the grass, the kart spits out underneath him, and poor Ellis Child, he's got on the brakes, but the gold chassis is just, he's a passenger at that point.
Yeah, Ellis had absolutely nowhere to go. He was just heading for an accident, and that's what he's had, and he is actually out of the race now.
Well, that's two innocent victims, unfortunately. That's the problem with going through the traffic. It is very tricky to do, and it's not something that you have a massive amount of experience doing, even at this level, because once you go out of club racing, you go to the national scene, and you don't really spend any time at all going through traffic. So this is quite a tough skill at club level to work your way through the blue flag runners.
Yeah, absolutely. That's Hasnan Khan picked out, the race leader. Got a reasonably comfortable lead at the moment, but he's coming up on a back marker. Now, will he get straight past him? No, he's been...
Oh, he's been boxed in.
Oh, he's been...
He's going to try, and that's... Oh, he's caught him at the wrong moment.
Boyd is right on him now.
Well, that was a problem. They tried to get past Aaron Rowland at the right time, and unfortunately for Hasnain Khan, Braden Boyd has seen that moment of vulnerability and decided to attack. He's managed to gain all the ground and all the deficit that there was. So now Braden Boyd, who actually won this final last time out they were racing in September, this is his chance, and he's going to try and make the switcheroo, trying to get up alongside, slow into the corner, fast down on the grass. Hasnain Khan doing everything, and around the outside, Braden Boyd sorts it out. He carried more speed and momentum. That was just perfect moment from Braden Boyd. He never really resisted. He gave Hasnain Khan all the pressure. Easy for Khan to just drop it on a couple of wheels on the grass, but Braden Boyd picked his moment, found his man, and look at the frustration from Hasnain Khan and the jubilation from Braden Boyd.
Yeah, absolutely. 4 wheels, I think it was, on the grass. We'll get a replay.
Dukes in front of Livings, and then Williamson in front of Dax Farrer. Is it going to be as they come through? Just about. It was pretty tight at the end there. George Swire will come through in front of Smith, Walsh and Hushka. But there's the race-winning moment. Khan just a couple of wheels on the grass, and that's all it took for Boyd to take it round the outside. Dukes in third place from Livings and Bray Williamson, and then Dax Farrer finds himself in the top 6. George Swire did a good job despite dropping back initially. He held on to P7 in front of Archie Smith, with Oscar Walsh and Joss Hushka rounding out the top 10. And obviously what that does to the championship standings, it puts Braden Boyd on the top. Bray Williamson in second, and Hasnain Khan, not a bad effort, in third position. The absent Ollie Chesters is P4 in front of Dax Farrer and Aston Brown, with Jensen Pritchard ahead of Neeson, Smith and Alex Jones in P10.